everyone, welcome back to the Everton Career Mode. It's Season 2, Episode 2. But we wake up today without Allan. He accepted City's offer. He's going off to play with Ederson, Fernandinho, Gabriel Jesus in a title-challenging team, one going for the Champions League. And I understand, no hard feelings, but this is going to be incredibly tough for us. Guys like this don't grow on trees, and he was the boss of our midfield, and now we have to replace an 84 rated central midfielder. And guys, remember, this was already a position I wanted to spend 50 million on to improve, to get him a very good partner, and now we're left with having to bring in two first team quality / world class players. It's going to be a really interesting transfer window, but this is how it goes nowadays. If a big hitter comes in, we're going to be forced to sell. And look, we got an offer from Aston Villa for Godfrey, 32 million. It's a great offer, and it's not long before a really good team comes in for him or Holgate. So we need contingencies and a short list of guys for every position at this point, because we need to be prepared and we need to scout guys ahead of time and not scramble when a guy is bought. So that's how it goes. Now we're going to take it step by step though. The first game we have is against Arsenal, and these games always prove very difficult. It's hard to create against them for me, and it's also difficult to defend against their pace, and that is their main threat. They still have Aubameyang. He still has that pace. Maybe he's just lost a yard, but he's still got the finishing to go along with it. They've got Harvey Barnes. I was surprised because they actually sold Saka, and earlier on Smith Rowe, so they're going through a little bit of a metamorphosis on the left hand side this game, and I'm not sure if this is due to injury or because they're switching this guy into a left winger, S02E02, so that's an unknown quantity, but again, it fits their profile. Acceleration, sprint speed is all there, and behind that is Odegaard, which makes everything click. This guy is outstanding, certainly when he plays against us. He gets into those spaces and either starts passing to these fast forwards, getting shots from distance. He is so dangerous. We have not been able to shut this guy down in any of the 3 games we've played. He's run us ragged. We need to get a hold of this, and we need to limit his time on the ball. Arsenal is making an interesting tweak because behind Odegaard, they're playing now 2 central defensive midfielders, both capable defensively, after they bought Gbamin for us, and this will only give Odegaard more of a platform to shine. It's going to be very dangerous. Now, their defense is, again, a little bit above Premier League average. They brought in Pedraza. Maybe that's their answer. But they're playing Bellerin out wide on right back. Their CBs are, again, just about average. Potential in white, but so far something maybe we can exploit if we get in behind the central defensive midfielders. Now, we're going to be playing, as I said, a depleted central mid partnership, so we're going to try to avoid playing heavily in that area and instead get it out wide as fast as possible. And I'm going to go with Keane and Koulibaly because that is the CB partnership I have in mind as the starting one going on into the season. I played Godfrey because I wanted to counter Aston Villa's pace, and although Arsenal does have pace also, they're more of a possession system, so Keane is going to be sitting back a little bit more and won't get exposed. Alright guys, here we go. Time to get revenge against Arsenal for getting beat 3-0 at the end of last season. Let's go.
Welcome, today's visitors, Arsenal, and your Everton.
Alright guys, my intentions and game plan were clear right from the start. I wanted to get the ball and get it out wide as quickly as possible and try to abuse the flanks. Now we do so here. Gakpo, it's a pretty poor pass, but the second part, and it's really important to get tight to the guys when you lose the ball and apply pressure. Press and try to get Arsenal to make a mistake. Here we do a very good job at trapping them. They are forced to play it long and we recycle possession. So this was the general game plan going forward. And Arsenal, of course, tried to use their pace out wide and abuse the wings. Now we did a very good job clearing the ball and getting to these headers. As we did in the first game against Aston Villa, we were actually very, very solid and I was really impressed. But again, our game plan was to go out wide quickly. Allan Saint-Maximin, what a touch. And he starts running at the defense and he terrorizes them. He gets past one here. He rides the challenge and he finds Richarlison. It's 1-0 guys against Arsenal. What a goal. That was all Allan St. Maximin. Wow. And you can see him here looking at Richarlison. That was a beautiful play from him. He gets it out wide. That first touch was world class. In fact, he is a world class dribbler. Not maybe a world class player yet, but this guy is an absolute world class dribbler. Coleman got injured, so I had to take him off. I put Holgate on because Cantwell is not a box-to-box type midfielder. Arsenal kept on coming. They started to get more possession and they fashioned good chances, but look how well we defend this. It's such an organized defense, and then one pass into the midfield, one pass to Calvert-Lewin, and we try to get our own counter. And this is generally how I like to play, and it worked in this game. Gakpo here couldn't put a quick cross in, so he doubled back. Aarons with the overlap, and he gets a really good cross in into the danger area. 3 guys in there. Richarlison gets it. We're unlucky, but this is exactly how I like to play. Arsenal ends off the first half with a brilliant chance, and who else but Odegaard who makes this happen. One touch into Aubameyang. Great save by Pickford, and this is where Arsenal's dangerous. The second half, there was a lot of crosses, but we dealt with them. Pickford, command of the area, excellent. Now here we go in this second chance. Another cross from Arsenal, and look at Koulibaly. He comes across and takes responsibility. He has been such a good signing. He has been massive for us. Arsenal continue to pile on the pressure in this game, and they varied up their play. This time they play it on the ground. Odegaard gets it, doesn't have a lot of room, hits it, but Pickford, what a save. Oh my goodness. I decided at that point, Arsenal is having way too much success. We're changing to a 4-3-3, sitting back and doing a counter-attacking style of football. I felt like Arsenal could be hurt because they had a lot of the ball, and I tried to do this immediately after I tried the substitution, but I play it too fast here, and Arsenal gets it, and one pass opens us up, and it's a very dangerous situation. Keane does very well to defend here, but they get a corner, they cross it, and who do you think cleans this up? Koulibaly. That's what I'm talking about. This guy takes ownership of those crosses. Late on, there was some great fireworks from us. Townsend, a tasty ball in. It falls. Leno doesn't get it. Richarlison trips over. What is going on here? That was a great chance. Arsenal continue to attack. It's another cross. We deal with them time after time. Just like in the Villa game, we are so organized, and then we are on to the counter straight away. We again put it onto the fresh Townsend, and you can see Richarlison at the bottom of the screen. He gets it, chests it to Calvert-Lewin. Oh, if that was smashed, that would have been such a good goal. Arsenal late on had the last say here, the last chance of the game. It falls in for Lacazette, who came on as a substitute, and Pickford bails us out again, guys. That's the end of the game. We win against Arsenal 1-0, and we're 2 wins into the season, 2 clean sheets into the season. What a start. All right, so Coleman picked up a 4-week injury, guys, and we really don't have anyone to play here after Allan got sold. I mean, Davies is coming back, so that'll help us at least, but we're really struggling, and this feels like it's going to be that kind of a season where the injuries start piling up. Last season, it was really only a few injuries here or there, and the major one we had was Doucouré, was right at the end of the season, but I have the settings cranked up, so I have no doubt that the game is going to come out to get me, and I feel like this is the season, so we're going to need depth. And we're certainly going to need to sort out our CM position, but we need contingencies, like I said, for every one of these positions. We have to get a short list of guys and be prepared for when our guys get sold. We have offers now coming in for our CBs. Another one came in for Holgate. It's just Hoffenheim. It's a swap deal, so I rejected it. But I have a feeling that something is going to happen sooner or later with a CB here. We're just going to take it easy and go 1 game at a time. We have 1 game left until the end of the transfer window. It's against West Brom, so let's get into it here. They play a 5-2-3, and this is going to be a proper defensive setup because I feel like those wingers will drop and it's going to be a bank of 5 and a bank of 4 and they're just going to counter. It's going to be a simple recipe, and the way the personnel is set up, it only confirms that. They've got Phillips, who still has a little bit of pace, Callum Robertson and Grady Diangana up front. So they're going to be the ones trying to counter once those direct balls or long balls come in. Behind them, it's just hard-working midfielders who are going to be solid and play defensively. And then they have their 5 at the back. And no one is really sort of standout in this team. They aren't that good defensively. They aren't that pacey. But they're going to play compact and they're going to play collectively and try to frustrate you as much as possible. Their CBs are strong, so they're going to be able to deal with headers and sort of balls in behind. But again, they're nothing special. But that's not the point. West Brom is going to try to stay and defend collectively. Now, we're going to have to break this down. And we've struggled in the past with breaking down low blocks and being creative. And this is going to be a particularly difficult game because our CM is going to have to be Holgate because I can't play anyone else there. Cantwell, I maybe could risk in this specific game, but I don't like playing him in this formation because he's not defensive enough and not box to box enough. So I'm going to play Holgate. I'm going to give starts to Brooks, Townsend, and Di Lorenzo. I have to start rotating the squad. And I'm playing Godfrey at the back to counter the pace on the counter attack from West Brom, just like in that Aston Villa game. But the key to this game is going to be breaking down a low block. So here we go, guys. Let's go.
Will you please make some noise as we welcome our visitors, Everton, and your West Bromwich.
Alright, this is what I mean by low block. Bank of 5 and bank of 4 and go try to break it down. And the way to do this is you have to shuffle the ball quickly, find spaces and openings, be creative. And the second part of West Brom's recipe is here. Nip the ball and start moving forward vertically very fast and counter. It's a very simple recipe. It's common amongst recently promoted sides to the Premier League, but not just. I mean, Leicester won the league on something very similar, sitting deep and countering with Vardy. It's not that difficult, and don't ever think that you have to play a certain way in football. Football can be played in many different ways, and no one way is right. Obviously, there's systems and styles that are more fun to watch, but there's many styles out there, and they're all legitimate. Now, here we go. Off that, we have a great chance here. I mean, most of the West Brom players are back, and it's safe. But no, what a blunder from the defender. It falls to Decore. It's a volley, and it's in. 1-0, guys. That was shambolic defending. What an error from West Brom. And this just got numerably harder for them because now they're down 1-0 and their counter-attacking system is much less potent because we technically don't have to attack. Now they get a few chances here and a spell of possession. We get pressured, we have to defend frantically, and it falls into the box for them. Pickford has to make another save. But generally speaking, this is how the game flowed. We tried to break them down, moved it side to side, moved it forward. Great defensive awareness and closing down. Here we go again. They clear it. And we're back again. And we try to move it around and find our openings. We put it into Calvert-Lewin. They nip it. This is basically how large portions of the game went. Now we got a massive chance here where Charlison gets it off a wild clearance and he puts a very juicy ball in for Townsend here. And he's brought down and I'm thinking red. But it must have been that other man that was running alongside that made this a yellow. That was very close. Dean gets a free kick off this. And we get a red on it, but it actually hits the crossbar. That was a very decent chance. But West Brom continued to play their football. Look at this, guys. They put it in. 2 balls here. 1, 2, into the box. And Pickford has to make a great save. Very direct. And look at this, even more direct. 1, 2, it's in, and Koulibaly has to make a great defensive play, and that was West Brom all game. We struggled to break down the West Brom low block, but credit to them, they were very good defensively. Look at this, closing down, getting to second balls, fighting, blocking shots. It was amazing to see, and I like this. It's a challenge. It's a different style of football to play against, but we just need to do better against it because we didn't create as much in terms of breaking down their low block. Now, most of our chances came off of counters like this one, and because they're 1-0 down, it presents certain opportunities. They want to get something from the game, so they open up just a little bit more, and this is where you can get opportunities like this. Richarlison surges into the box, and it's saved. A great save, but this is where most of our chances came from. Again, we get a semi-counter here. Townsend books it on the wing. He's brought down by Reach, and it's a red. And this just buries West Brom, and I'm thinking, okay, I want something a little bit more than 1-0 from this game. Let's bring on some more offensive players. I think Tony and Cantwell come on here. Let's have a little bit more of a go, and we try. Again, we create good chances. It's a great one here. We play it around, as usual, shuffle the ball around. Cantwell gets it in his classic style, and it's a save. I bring on Allan St-Maximin. I'm piling on the pressure here. And again, they just defend so well, and they're so well organized, but they are now, with a red card, a little bit more susceptible to everything. We work it around well. It falls to Allan St-Maximin. He's been training his distance shooting. It's another save from their goalkeeper. He's bringing them into this game. But it was West Brom who had this last chance of the game, guys. They work it well. They get brave. They get brave in the last moments of the game. And Pickford has to bail us out. Oh my goodness. Wow, if we had lost points in the last few minutes of the game against West Brom, I would have been cheesed. Pickford makes sure this does not go into the net, and we come out with a 1-0 win, but it was due to a blunder at the beginning of the game. We actually couldn't break West Brom down. We need to do better against low blocks going forward, guys. This was kind of unacceptable. All right, here we go, guys. Transfer deadline day, and I've decided to get 3 central midfielders of 3 different profiles. I offered for all these players, there were 6 in total, to get the final price tags, and then I made my decisions at the end, but here are the negotiations. So the first profile is a defensive-minded box-to-box player. I offered for Torreira, valued at 34. I offered 25, and they're like 27.6. We can get this guy. I played hardball and offered 25 again, and they accepted. That was a good deal. Calvin Phillips, 40.5 million. They wanted up to 62. You know what? I'm going to lowball again. Just offer 42 at the beginning. They wanted Keane plus cash. I'm not giving up Keane. I just want a straight cash deal. I upped my offer to 45 million, and they said 53.8. So I'm like, all right, let's meet sort of halfway. Let's offer 48. But they weren't budging, so I'm like, you know what? It's time for me to play hardball a little bit. 48 million. Nope. They still said 53.8. I am not budging. 48. I didn't want to break that 50 million barrier, and I didn't. They accepted. The next profile of player is the more offensive. Veretout, valued at 31. Let's lowball. 30. Oh, there you go. Here we go. Guendouzi. They want up to 43 million, valued at 24.5. I'm like, all right, let's start with 25. 29.8. Arsenal doesn't know how to deal for their players. Let's offer 25. Again, no. All right, 26.2. Let's just offer 26 and get it done with. Great. The next profile player is just sort of a backup, maybe a little bit prospectful. Let's go Da Silva. And this was interesting because he had a release clause of 15, so I knew I was going to get him. But sort of, let's try to offer a low ball. I did a number of low balls, and we ended up settling for 13 here. I thought that was a decent offer. I mean, he had a 15.4 release clause, so I nudged it down a little bit. Not bad. Maitland-Niles, again, this is the same type of deal. Just cover. Valued at 13.5. It's Arsenal, so let's low ball. 10, no. They started dealing... You know what? I decided to offer 13. They weren't really budging on Maitland-Niles for whatever reason, but I'm happy with 13. So those are the guys that we've negotiated for, and now it's time to make our decision. Which 3? Calvin Phillips, guys. This is our big money signing and our replacement for Allan. He has big shoes to fill, but I think he can do it. He has such good passing. He has the stamina. He's great defensively, and he's going to anchor that 4-4-2. Next up, our slightly more offensive player, Guendouzi, guys. Only 26 million, and I know he was 79 as opposed to Veretout, who was 83, but he's 23, and I'm not always the guy who goes for young players. In fact, I like buying veterans, but I felt like with his 83 vision, he could really be a player for the future and a player that is more offensive in that 4-4-2. And our last guy is Da Silva, guys. He's prospectful, and if you look at him, he's already got the foundations to be such a good box-to-box player. He's a threat from distance. He is going to be a great player going forward. If we develop him, he might actually one day end up in the starting lineup. He's also left-footed. And how many times did I say I wanted left-footed center back, left-footed midfielder, and finally I've got one, guys. So these are our 3 transfers. We've spent 87 million on them. And this is our central midfielders of the future, guys. Hopefully it'll work out. That wasn't the end of the transfer window, though, because there were offers coming in. Davies, I rejected from Wolves. Townsend had a number of offers. The latest from Arsenal, I rejected. There was an offer for Richarlison for 100 million from Liverpool. And normally I would have to sell according to my rules, but Liverpool is the one team I don't have to answer a phone call from. I'm never ever selling to my rivals. Never. But unfortunately, an offer did come in from Real Madrid. So we have to say goodbye yet again, guys, to another one of our players. And this time it's Michael Keane. And if you ask me, this is unrealistic. They would never buy a 29-year-old English center back, Michael Keane especially. But I'm never going to interfere with the computer's decision-making here. If they want Keane, they want Keane, and I have to sell. His value is 25, so I have to accept offers of 35 or above. 10% for him being happy, 10% from him being an important player, and 15% from him still being of a decent age. He's in his prime, 29, so I negotiated. We got 35 million, guys, and that's it. Keane's gone. So we have lost depth at this position. We've lost our starter, but luckily we do have Godfrey, Holgate. So we're good, and Branthwaite will get more minutes. So actually I'm happy because the younger guys are going to get minutes. This is a good thing, I think. We'll deal without Keane. We'll try to deal without Keane as best we can. And if you think about it, he's getting 160,000 now. He was getting paid 90, so that's approaching twice as much money. I understand why he did it. It's fine. I get it. So that's the transfer window, guys. We spent 159 million, but only about 50 million net spend. So not that much. I thought that was modest, but this was a really weird transfer window, I think. Most of the big hitters were dead quiet. I mean, it was just weird. Arsenal, almost no net spend. Chelsea, 0 net spend. Look at that profit. Liverpool, again, look at the profit. They sold 3 key players, barely any net spend. United, 0 net spend. All these teams that were vying for positions, I mean, I thought it was going to be an arms race, and all of a sudden, 0 net spend. Wolves, 0 net spend. City stayed pat. They only got Allan. This is unlike the big teams. Tottenham was the big one, sort of. They had like a 70 million net spend, and they needed to get better, but nothing too crazy. Leicester spent a lot of money. But again, net was only about 70, so nothing too crazy. A really, really weird transfer window. Alright guys, let's do a quick tactical analysis on Wolves here. They are a very tricky opponent. I actually didn't win with them last season because they play a 5-2-3 and it's very difficult to defend against. They have a pacey front 3 who interchange positions very well. Behind them, a tactical midfield which playmakes from deep and comes up to support when the ball progresses into the final third. They have fullbacks who bomb forward and support the attack. Nelson Semedo, they actually converted Rabiot into a fullback, so we'll see how that works. And obviously they play up from the back and they have defenders to do this. Connor Cody, the backbone of that defense, and they brought in Acerbi. This is a great team and we're gonna probably struggle against them. I'm gonna set up the way I got a result last time. We got a tie last time, 4-3-3 with Cantwell, a more advanced playmaker, in that third midfield position, and we're gonna see if we can't replicate at least a tie just like last season.
Will you please make some noise as we welcome our visitors Everton and your Wolverhampton.
Guys, we started this game off really well, and honestly, we've been defending so well for the first few games of the season. All these crosses are getting snuffed out, and we had a great opportunity off of that one to get a counter here. Now, we slow the play down because Wolves got back, but they didn't actually put a lot of pressure on us, and we were able to get enough space to fashion a half chance here. Cantwell can't get it on target. It falls to Doucouré, and it's a goal. A shambolic piece of defending, in my opinion. They don't get to the ball quick enough. They leave Doucouré, and the goalie should have done better. Oh my goodness. Now, Calvert-Lewin got injured, and this really scared me because if he gets a long-term injury, I mean, this could spell bad things for us in the season. Tony came on, and he would have to prove himself, and boy, did he do that. A goal right when he came on. A great cross from Dean, and Tony puts it away. Guys, it is 2-0. 2-0 against Wolves. They don't seem like themselves. They really don't. They are way off the pace here. This is such a good result. And Tony coming in, making an impact immediately after Calvert-Lewin got injured. This is just incredible stuff, and we would continue to pile on the pressure, and Wolves was just out of it. Look at this, way too narrow. The cross comes in, Richarlison flies in, and it's 3-0. 3-0, guys. This is insanity against Wolves. Such a difficult opponent from last season. I couldn't deal with them last season, and now we are just battering them. Absolutely battering them. Some great crosses in, and they are just leaving us open. 3 headers, 3 goals, guys. We absolutely destroyed them. They could not deal with our counters. It was just absolute decimation in the first half. It was, the entire first half was like this. Okay, here they deal with it a little bit, but again, they give it away, and we move it vertically fast and get chances. That was the entire first half. The second half was more of the same, guys. Look at this. We switched the play early on in the second half. It falls to Cantwell. He takes the touch, plays in Tony, goes into the box, and he chips the goalkeeper. What was that from Ivan Toney? Oh my goodness. You did not just do that, Ivan Toney. Man, he is just taking the piss at this point. 4-0. What a goal from Ivan Toney. That has got to be a candidate for goal of the season straight away. I mean, unbelievable piece of skill. This is the Ivan Toney show, guys. This is absolute craziness. Wow. I don't think I've scored a better goal this series. That is just outstanding from Ivan Toney. I get complacent after this because we're just absolutely hammering Wolves. They get one chance in this game. Literally like one chance. They cross it in. I'm floundering about with Koulibaly, and they head it in. And it's hard to get a damp mood when you're up 4-1 still. But we've lost our first goal of the season, guys, unnecessarily because I could have just defended it better. Gakpo is having a bad game, so I decided to take him off and bring Townsend on. Other than that, I was very, very satisfied with how we were playing. I mean, it's 4-1, and Ivan Toney is just putting on a show. Right after that, they scored that goal, we go onto the attack. We play around with it for a little bit, and you're going to see what happens here in a second. I mean, I have no words for how shambolic Wolves are defensively in this game. I really don't. Like, there's no pressure on the ball here. Ivan Toney gets it. He turns left foot shot. It's a hat trick. Guys, what is going on with Wolves? I don't know whether to be more shocked that Wolves is just so shambolic, or whether to be happy because Ivan Toney just came on after I'm worried about Calvert-Lewin getting injured, and he scores as a hat-trick. Left foot, right foot, header. Perfect hat-trick from Ivan Toney. Wow. Wow, that's all I have to say. This guy deserves more playing time in the first team. I mean, wow. And that's it, guys. We win this game. We start the season off with 4 wins, 1 goal conceded. This is just amazing stuff. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you next time, guys. Laters.